This program is brought to you by UCKG.
Hello and welcome to another empowering episode of A Different Kind of Woman. A different kind of woman doesn't need the approval of anyone else. Sometimes we all feel left out, we feel ignored or not listened to. Some women feel invisible in relationships, while others feel invisible when they reach a certain age. Why do women seek validation from others? And what can we do to remove invisibility cloaks and become visible? On today's show, The Invisible Woman, we'll be discussing this and much more. Joining me today in studio is the lovely Liliana.
Hi.
Hello, darling. And the sensational
Oh,
Samantha.
wow. Thank you.
Indeed.
Thank you. Welcome.
Indeed.
Welcome,
Thank you.
Anna.
Thank you so
true.
much. Have you ladies ever felt invisible?
Yes, many times. Many times.
As a person, I'm not that type of invisible person. Even from a younger age, I've always been that outgoing one.
Yes.
You know, and because as well from a young age, I had a lot of attention on me in terms of, I was called to do athletics and from a young age. It was always limelight.
Yes.
But the times when I did feel invisible and, unappreciated, I should say, is more in my love life. When I was unappreciated by my partner at the time.
Okay.
I felt neglected by him. I was actually abused by him. So, of course, you withdraw
Yes.
within yourself as a person. So I think those stages throughout my life when I felt really brokenhearted was like the darker areas in my times
Got it.
where I did feel invisible.
I was going to say, with me, okay, I'm still young, guys. So with me,
You are indeed.
with me, it's more like, okay, it could be silly, but it was, okay, when you go to a family party and then your cousins kind of put you to the side and then you're like, oh, but I want to be playing with you
join
guys.
in.
And they're like, no, you're too young or something like that. And I'll be like, oh my gosh, it's not fair. So then my ones they're kind of like silly, but when I was growing up, during I think probably secondary school, and I started to, take my studies seriously, not so much partying, not so much do these things. I did feel invisible, but it was kind of like of a choice in that moment. So I think being invisible not necessarily always means a bad thing, because I made myself invisible for that moment, so I wouldn't go out, so that I could just focus on my studies, if that makes sense.
Fair enough.
Yes. Oh wow, this topic I can see it's so much we can talk about.
It's true.
But before we delve more into the topic, we're going to find out more about what the people on the street think about this with Priscilla.
Why do people feel invisible? Are they seeking validation from others, or are they being overlooked? Many psychologists believe that children who are neglected grow up to be wounded adults and seek validation from others. Women often feel invisible in their workplace. A study by Princeton University showed that males talk as much as 75% in meetings compared to women's 25%. Many believe this is the reason why only 29% of our MPs are females, and that many women don't reach the top of their careers. According to a survey of 2,000 women by Clairview Total Vision Correction, women start to feel ignored by men as young as 46 years old. This is the social phenomenon dubbed as the invisible women syndrome, where women in their 40s and over start feeling invisible in public view, public transports, in their workplace, and in the media. A research by the University of Southern California found that women were cast as just 26% of characters aged 40 or older in last year. In a survey, 55% of people said that often their self-worth is related to how other people think. According to psychotherapists, the way we are treated is a mirror to the way we treat ourselves, suggesting that low self-esteem can lead to being ignored in relationships. Let's find out what the public thinks. How often have you felt unappreciated, unseen, or unvalued?
Oh, that's funny. We're
just
just
talking
talking
about
about that. Yeah. Just in like work placement sometimes, I guess. Feeling undervalued. Don't really want to put like the sexist card in there, but I think being a woman as well, sometimes you feel not appreciated by little things that you do.
I think as a woman it is kind of a trend of you do feel a little bit unappreciated just because the gender and like with society is like it's stereotypes. Specifically, I'm someone that makes a real effort to never be unseen. I'd like to share my opinions as much as I can and make myself present with any circumstance I'm in, whether that's in education or a classroom. I won't shy away from debate or anything like that.
Not all the time.
Not all the
but
time,
sometimes.
but I think in kind of like the public sort of sphere when you're kind of just wandering around, I guess you kind of do, but it just depends what you're doing, I guess.
Yeah. Unfortunately, quite often, but I think that with a certain sense of self-confidence, you kind of look past that.
What do you believe causes the way others view you and treat you?
I guess modern day now is probably social media probably has something to play with it, because obviously quite a lot you are judged on how you look and how you act, and I think everything that you kind of do wrong now is always kind of spread around. It's not kind of kept between friends. I think there's a lot of like gossip and stuff and that goes on these days, and a lot of judgment.
Like I said, I think it is primarily like stereotypical like stereotypes and like within society. So I see as a woman and like in the way like a certain dress or something like that. So they'll see a woman and think, oh, okay, her opinion doesn't matter in this certain situation because she doesn't have enough experience about it. Which is completely untrue. Women's opinions are valid in all sense of the word and all topics. So yeah.
Media, representations of women in the
Yeah.
media, I think that influences a lot.
Definitely. And then I guess how you kind of present yourself and in kind of like your friendships, social circles, stuff like that, obviously affects how people treat you.
Yeah.
But again, if it's in a kind of more intimate, kind of social, personal setting, it kind of should be kind of quid pro quo. If you're a nice person, then they'll treat you with the respect that you deserve.
I think that at times when a person doesn't have value, like they don't value themselves or they don't make it appear as if they value themselves, other people kind of devalue them as well. And unfortunately for us as women, sometimes even with a certain sense of self-value and even with confidence, sometimes just by the way that you carry yourself, people may just put you down and underappreciate you.
That's it from the streets of London, and it's back to you in studio.
Wow, interesting opinions there.
It's true.
Because as we listen to the general public speaking about, social media and the role it plays, in people feeling valued, feeling appreciated, how was your experience like?
I'm going to be honest. I was bullied, and what I did notice is when you are like even one of the ladies said, appear to be more confident, even when sometimes you maybe are not. But when you appear to be confident, or when you come out of your shell, people do catch that on, and they, if for example, if you have an opinion to say, they will stop and listen to you. They won't so much, oh, we don't want to hear what you have to say. But I do believe there is a very strong connection between self-esteem and how people treat you, because
Absolutely.
it's how, I believe anyway, how you portray yourself is how people will treat you.
Yes.
I mean, not every single time. I don't think it happens every single time, but...
Yeah, because sometimes people don't know their boundaries.
Yeah.
Exactly, and I think you come on. Let's be honest here. If you've got a low esteem, it means that you don't appreciate yourself.
Indeed.
It means that you are lack the conditions of believing in yourself. So I just think that if a person's low esteem, they're not going to portray confidence.
Indeed.
They're not gonna go out there. They don't want to be on the forefront of anything because they're going to want to be hidden. at all times. So I think self-esteem plays the biggest part, I think.
But when does it start?
in this.
When does a child develop or a person develops this sort of confidence? Because I know for me growing up, I was very shy, very timid.
Yeah.
And this also reflected in my, you know, my personality, how I dressed, how I carried out myself.
Of course.
So,
I mean, you know, many, you know, children, they go through different traumas in their lives. So I believe that it can take place in any period of your life, depending on the experience. You know, there are many children that are maybe abused or being put down by their parents all the time, that negative word all the time, that can make the person, or the person could be just naturally, like you said, naturally a shy person. No, we have different characters. We're not all going to be outspoken. Do you know what I mean? But we can develop ourselves and become that confident. Like you said, nothing is set in stone. We can develop our characters to be a better person. So,
and it doesn't mean because you are this way growing up means in your adulthood it's going to carry through.
That's right.
Yes.
And you can have a fantastic childhood, like I had a fantastic childhood, but yet it didn't stop me from being, you know, withdraw within as an adult because of the negative experience that I encountered. So, you know, it varies.
It does. It does. I know this topic is one that we can talk
Indeed.
a great deal about, but we're going to take a short break and stay tuned and we'll take a look at what's next. We're going to look at how we make ourselves invisible in a red and green card game.
Well, for me, I didn't want to go on the fence here because I didn't want you to tell me off, Alafal.
Welcome back to today's show, The Invisible Woman. We have been discussing feeling invisible, and now it's time to play our favorite red and green card game. So for those who don't know, show the red card for no, and the green card for yes. So no sitting on the fence, ladies.
No, we won't.
Definitely not.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay,
We are ready.
so the first question is, do you remain silent, not speaking up for yourself when feeling discounted or unseen by others?
Definitely red. No.
No.
Why is that?
Well, I've learned that it's good to share your opinion sometimes. Again, you know, that's okay. I won't be on the fence, but I say no because I just think it's important for you to express sometimes how you feel, what's on your mind, and for others to know. Because, for example, through my opinion, I could make you see it, I don't know, a situation in a whole completely different angle.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean? But if I keep everything to myself and I'm not quite, then it's like even I will start devaluing myself. And then, to be honest, I don't know if I would be profitable in, let's say, a meeting or, do you know what I mean? Or at work or something like that.
Yes.
Well, for me, I didn't want to go on the fence here because I didn't want you to tell me off, Alafal. So I went for the red because I have had moments when I have, you know, not step back and not give my opinion because it has been not the right timing.
True.
And I think timing plays a big part in when you're voicing your opinions.
Yes.
But in general, I think if I'm being undervalued or I think that I'm not being respected or, you know, I feel as if I'm not treated fairly, I will have a voice. I'm confident enough that I will say what I need to say to get my point across.
Yes. But that's what my mother always told me, it's not what you say, it's how you say it.
Right.
Yes, it's how you put it across.
That's true.
I think it's very important.
Yes, yes.
Okay, so let's move along to the next question. Do you ignore your own feelings and needs in difference to others? Is that a yes or a no?
I'm going to say
Do you ignore your own
yes.
feelings?
Oh, Sam has to think about it.
Yeah, I'm going to say green because I think at times, you know, we are people that we have compassionate for others. And I think there are times when you don't want to offend your friends or loved ones or hurt others.
Right.
Yeah.
And again, it goes to timing. You're not going to kind of, that person may be down at that time and you
Yeah.
want to tell them the truth.
But it's not a
Although
good
the
time.
truth is good, but it may not be the right time
Yes.
to
Yeah.
tell them at that point.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean?
agree.
So again, I don't want to go on the fence because I don't want to be poked by Alafat. But however, I will say no for that reason.
Okay.
So, oh wait, this is yes, right?
I will say yes for
Yes.
that reason.
Perfect, got it. So I was gonna say, I said yes because being recently married, or recent married, I don't know how to say it, newlyweds.
Newlyweds.
I've really learned to sometimes just ignore
That's
what I'm
right.
feeling.
This is
Yes.
it.
Because
yes.
sometimes if I do what I feel, oh no, it's not
No.
good. It's
That's
just
right,
not good.
exactly.
Sometimes I want to say something that I shouldn't. So I just
Hold the tongue.
I just really ignore it. Just
Yeah,
let it go.
yeah.
Let it go.
My
Do you know what I
God.
mean? There's always a time like I will address it, but in that moment, no.
And it gets you in trouble. You
Yeah.
don't solve the problem. I had this in my marriage so much. I just want to do it my way. Say what I think straight away, and
yeah.
and it's just so unethical.
Yeah.
It doesn't solve problems.
Yeah.
And I
True.
think we kind of gotta have empathy. I think
Yeah.
empathy is the word. We kind of have to see that person's opinion, give that person a chance, and sometimes you may see things change
Yes.
in a different way.
Yes.
You know,
It's true.
Yeah.
It's true.
yeah.
I think time is a great healer, as well as I think as we mature, as
That's
we
true.
develop in life, we look at things differently.
Right.
So my younger self would have been
Quick to
probably, yeah.
let it out.
Yeah, tell you as it is. Don't
Yeah.
care how you feel afterwards.
Exactly.
I get it off my
Yeah.
system.
It's not nice.
But with age, it's like, okay, no, now is
Let's
not the
think
right
about it.
time.
That's
true.
right.
Or probably, I can wait. I can wait before telling the person, exactly.
Yeah.
This is
I'm
the
so glad you're
situation.
learning this in
Do you know
your
what
marriage.
I'm so great. But do you know what it is? I have great women around me. Do you understand?
Oh.
So I do, and I think that's the secret, young lady. It's just speak to older women that are
Yes.
wiser, like, or have been married for longer, because you guys just know. You just know.
It did cause it actually. I'm glad you're learning it from early because it caused problems in my marriage in the
Okay.
first year or two because I was just on a run. Almost like keeping the single women mode.
Yeah,
Do you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
just
Gotta let go.
but you
And
gotta
it
let
really
go.
affects your relationship with everyone, your family, your friends,
Indeed.
everyone.
Yes.
It really
True.
affects. Okay, so let's move along to the next question. Do you go along with what others want, even if you really want something else?
This one again, I'm like,
No sitting on the fence.
wait, okay.
No
do
sitting
you
on
go
the
along
fence, Lily.
Others want.
So why? Why would you go along with what others want?
Okay, so guys, I know this may sound so. This is like a secret, but okay. So what
It's a
what I've learned sometimes through what you said about what your mum taught you is how you say it.
True.
Is sometimes I will go along with what that person wants, but I will discreetly give my little hints to do. If I think it's better, do you know what I mean? I don't know how to
power of a
explain
woman.
it. Yeah, but like especially at work, everyone's like, "Oh, let's do it," and I'll be like, "That's true. It's true, But you guys, guess what? I think
Yes, yes.
And then they can kind of go to what I'm
What you
saying.
want.
So that's why I'm like, I don't want to sit on the fence, but
It's a way you
like-
can influence people you can influence others without directly telling them, no, you can't do this.
Yeah.
So it's good that you communicate that
Yeah.
in a clever way.
Yeah, well, I would say yes to that because I've learned, like you were talking about earlier on about maturing, I've learned that not to rely on my own feelings.
Yes.
Because a lot of the times your feelings can be wrong and you may straight away think, no, that's not good, I don't want to do that, I don't agree with that.
Yes.
And you can be wrong. And I've found that most of the times when I felt like, oh, I don't agree with that, oh, I don't want to do that, oh, I don't feel confident to do that.
Yeah.
Look, I remember when the first days when I started to do different kind of woman as a presenter, I'm not going to be a good presenter. How am I going to speak on TV? La 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 la.
Yes.
But you know, it becomes productive to your life in the end, and you
It's
can
true.
learn a lot from it if you
Yes.
push yourself forward and not just rely on your own feelings.
It's true.
So for that, for me,
Emotions can really get us in trouble.
emotions can just stop
Really
you from
get us in trouble.
progressing
Yes,
in
it's so
life and
true.
not going, you know, not going forward.
Not
so I've
taking
learned not
risk,
to
you know.
depend on me.
And coming out your comfort zone.
Very
That's
true.
right.
Yeah, if you
That's
stay with
right.
emotions, you wouldn't do anything.
You wouldn't do anything at all.
Emotions are
exactly.
annoying. I'm sorry. I just have to say that. How many times I've had to really put it away? But it's
Yes.
very annoying. But I believe, like, as both of you are saying,
you just won't progress because you're always going to be telling yourself, I can't do this. Oh, I'm not confident enough. La la la.
Yes.
And
You'll find all the negatives.
you'll find all the doubts
Yeah.
that will
That's
jump in
very
your,
true.
all the doubts will jump in your head to
Yes.
tell you why you shouldn't. So
Shouldn't,
I
wouldn't,
just kind of
couldn't.
have to not rely on myself like that and think, you know,
I like
why
that. That's
why
true.
not? Why
Yeah.
not? Why
Yes.
not? Why not go along with them? Because
Yes.
I may learn a lot from them, or I might just enjoy myself.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's the thing. We learn every day and we learn from each other.
That's right.
But it's just what we pick up because there's negative and positives.
that's
Yes.
true.
Yeah. Oh, I'm so sorry. We don't have time for any more questions.
Okay.
We just run out.
I did enjoy that.
I
did
like
enjoy
it.
that.
I like this
definitely.
game.
We can play again next week.
I really enjoyed it.
Yes. So we are going to take a short break. Don't go away. Take a look at the interesting women that will be joining us after the break. Next, we'll be hearing from relationships expert Anna Garcia and Diane Hardy will be joining us in the studio.
Often we don't leave a job, a position, an opportunity or a role or a relationship because we're afraid of who would I become if I finally let go of all of that.
The abusive became so bad that my son at the time, he witnessed it. And when he saw it, I said to myself, even if it's not for myself, but at least for my son.
Welcome back. And so far on today's show, The Invisible Woman, we have been discussing how visible we are. Our team went to meet with relationships expert Anna Garcia to find out why women feel invisible in relationships.
The purpose of today is an introduction and to make a difference to as many lives as possible. They get so much value out of today, so that's my gift to them. And if they resonate, they move on with me. My path has been turbulent from the get-go, so I experienced my parents' divorce when I was only 5 years old, so I know what it is to kind of have that level of diplomacy between two homes because they're both remarried, and it was like, you're not allowed to say what you heard here over here and all of that. So from a very young age, I learned that although they were adults, they weren't necessarily adult-like in their relationship styles and their communication. I remember being a child and being really upset. I thought that adults, once they hit 18, they were really mature. But actually, I found that they were like little children, really frustrated or upset with their own stuff. So that was my main starting point. But then ultimately, as life went on and so things unraveled, by the time I was 20, I'd been married, divorced and lost a child, and it was an abusive relationship. And so that, although it hurt me for so many years, when I eventually stopped asking the question, why me? And I said, what for? It then became apparent that actually my journey was to be able to help a lot of other women, not necessarily going through domestic violence or abuse or anything like that, but rather we often overstay our welcome, or we often overstay where we don't need to be. And that's because of our fears, because what if we can't find anything better, no matter how uncomfortable it is. Often we don't leave a job, a position, an opportunity or a role or a relationship because we're afraid of who would I become if I finally let go of all of that. So that's why relationships for me is because the quality of our life ultimately is down to the quality of our relationships. So when we learn to manage, one, our relationships outside of us, but even before doing that, our relationship with ourselves, and knowing that ultimately this relationship with ourselves is the most important one. Because when we've got this one shining, And when we realize that we're whole and complete just the way we are, then we can just bring so much beauty and synergy into our relationships, and life just totally transforms as a result of that. And that's my commitment. I know that if people transform their relationship with themselves, they can transform any relationship, and that can bring, you know, job success, career success, relationships in every area. It just brings joy and happiness if they're able to reunite with who they are and with those around them. The reason why, in many cases, women can often appear invisible is because they're actually running a lot of those limiting beliefs, which is, I'm unworthy, I'm not good enough, or I don't belong, or I can't trust myself, I can't trust others. So all these limiting beliefs lead us to gradually just seclude ourselves, and ultimately we may not intend to do it, but the way we get responded to, if you like, the way our partners respond to us is that, well, okay, fine. You know, because if we can't give light from ourselves, we can't expect anyone else to give us the light. And women ultimately realize that. Rather than going, why can't you acknowledge me? Why can't you love me? Why can't you respect me? Why can't you trust me? No, it's because we're not doing it within ourselves first. And only when we do that within ourselves can we ever put ourselves in situations where other people are going to do the same. Blossom and become. Well, it's the whole journey. It's a heroine's journey back to self-love. So having lived a whole life journey of looking for love outside, looking for love, who's going to love me, who's going to approve of me, because we're addicted to that. Who's going to like me, who's going to approve of me, who's going to love me? And ultimately when you discover, it's not outside of you. You blossom and the bee comes. A lot of the time as women, we uproot ourselves, you know? We're this beautiful flower, and then someone comes along and we're just like, oh, we fall in love, and we just, here you go, here's my heart. And we uproot ourselves, and we forget that actually you need to remain centered, you need to remain here, you blossoming, grounded. And when you do, when you really blossom, everything begins to happen. So the reason why it's called Blossom and Become is because there's a beautiful quote. The quote is by Sri Kumar Rao, when the flower blossoms, the bee comes. And I love that, because the whole idea is when I blossom as a human being, I become. And if you look at the play on words, become, the bee comes, whatever that is. So rather than going around running for that bee, what I'm doing is allowing life to come to me, whether it's opportunity, relationship, whatever it is, it's allowing that to come to me as a result of me blossoming. So this is a heroine's journey. It's my journey for every single one of those relationships, many of them. And it's the, oh my goodness, did she really do that? I can't believe she did that. And it will really give insight to a lot of women that they're not alone, and no matter how bad things get, it will pass, and there will be a gift at the end of that journey.
That was a very inspirational video by the relationships expert, Anna Garcia. It's so much that we can learn about valuing ourselves first before we can appreciate or love someone else. It starts with us. And in studio today will be joining me, Diane Hardy, who ignored her own feelings in a relationship with a controlling partner for many years. So please welcome to the studio. Welcome, Diane.
Welcome, Diane.
Thank you, thank you. Hi. So, Diane, what made you realize that you needed to end your relationship?
I realized that my life was not moving forward. Everything around me started to get stuck. My life was just not taking forward at all. I had also a little son as well who was also depending on me as well. So I realized that my life started to become depressed, where it was affecting him. And I had to stand back and ask myself the question, who am I living for? Am I living just for myself? Or am I living also for my son as well? So I really had to put that into consideration in order to step out and to step away from that abusive relationship that I was in for many years.
My gosh, I was going to ask, and I'm sorry if it's like so quick already, but how did you regain like your confidence after this, you know, painful relationship?
Well, first I had to learn to value myself first because of the abusive relationship that I was in and becoming so invisible. I ended up starting devaluing myself. I've lost confidence within myself. So I started learning to value myself more. And one of the things that I used to do, I used to, simple as it may sound or weird, I used to go in the mirror and I used to look in the mirror and tell myself one positive thing about myself each day. one positive word. So I would say, you're a great mother. I would say, you are beautiful. I would say, today will be a great day for you. You're going to achieve something. So I will always look in the mirror, because I didn't have anyone telling me this. So I had to do it for myself. So that's how I started.
That's really wonderful, Diane. But I'm quite curious to know, because I know that there are many viewers out there, women like yourself, who have gone through traumas, broken relationships, controlling partners and things like that. And I can't believe that it's easy just to click the finger and wake up one morning and just become a confident person. No. So what was the steps that you actually took to kind of get yourself out of that situation? It couldn't have been easy. I'm sure many women, you know, they go through such as that. They just don't know how to move from that situation.
So one of the things that I did, like I said, I had to really ask myself a question. One day the relationship became so worse, so bad. It was really, really, the abusive became so bad that my son at the time, he witnessed it. And when he saw it, I said to myself, even if it's not for myself, but at least for my son. And even I would say to the ladies as well, even if you don't have children involved, ask yourself the question, am I going to allow this to put me down so much so that I cannot even value myself? I'm not able to achieve anything at all outside. So that was one of the things. I had to look at my son and say, you know what, enough was enough. And within myself, I mean, it didn't happen overnight, but within myself, I kept giving myself that positive word, something positive, in order to look forward to for the next day. And even though he was still there at times, whenever he would come towards me, in myself still, I would still be there giving myself something positive until I ended up having that strength within myself to say, that's it, I'm leaving. And it's only when I physically went through the doors with my bag and my son that I was able to totally break free.
So you literally had
to pick up myself.
Pick up yourself and and did you actually go and seek advice?
Yes, I did.
You did?
Yes, I did.
So that kind of gave you a lot of confidence and help.
I was just going to say, some women, because I remember I did learn this in a conference one time, that they might just leave, but that's doing that, and although it seems like a quick
fix, or
sometimes you have to take
it's like leave and leave. The audience are going to be saying, leave, go where?
Exactly.
Do you know what I mean? Where do I go? Who do I speak to?
So I really like that you said that you actually went to find, you asked for help, you went to find advice. And that's very important, because of course you had a child at time, so you didn't want to put him in danger, just leaving and then not having no one to say.
And I think that's the key as well, because as you said, you will get up and you will go out somewhere, but you'll always ending up finding yourself back. If you don't go to seek that right person that you need to go and speak to about the situation, even if it's just to offload how you feel, just offloading alone how you feel to someone, with that person listening and not judging you, is just only enough to give you that sort of empowerment for you to even look forward to the next step the next day.
How long did it take you to get to this point?
It took me about 8 years.
8 years.
About 8 years. Yes. It seemed long and it sound long, but 8 years to me now today it just feel like it was like yesterday.
And what's your hope for the future?
Well, I have my older son now, and I've also got a younger son now. That I'm happily married.
You're in another relationship.
Yes, I'm in another relationship, and I am happily married.
How long have you been married?
I've been married now. It's going to be 4 years next week.
Wow.
Yes, 4 years. So I do speak to my older son, and I speak, as much as my younger one is only 2, I do interact as well with him as well. But I also give them the opportunity where they're able to speak, where they're able to open up and communicate with me. And one of the things is for me to teach them to value themselves. And to value their opinion as well, so that that doesn't hinder their future as how it had in their mind in the past.
Because it's not just a female thing.
No, it's not. It's not.
And it's good to teach them from now.
Yes.
But I'm more interested in, what do you think within yourself is the difference between you as a person within this relationship that you're in now than the person, because you're the same person.
I am the
I'm
same.
sure you look a lot more beautiful. I don't know, because when we're low self-esteem, sometimes we can change.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But there must have been a clear difference between the person you was before and the person you are today.
Yes.
And you must have implemented different attitudes.
Yes.
You know,
That's true.
characters
Actions,
Yes.
into this relationship.
Yes, I did.
Or even look for signs, even.
Yeah, because like even like now with myself and my husband, when there is a situation that might come across,
Yeah.
and I want to speak to him about a situation, again, I have to choose my moments. I can't just, as soon as something happened, I can't just go there and blurt it out and say to him, this is how I feel, blah, blah, blah. I had to choose the right moment and the right time. And sometimes it's even us going out for a walk, going for a coffee, going to the park. And while walking, without just saying to him, oh, I want to talk to you about something, it's learning how to deal with it. So I would say, oh, babe, I need to speak to you about something that happened. And we will then talk about it, and then we will reach to some form of mutual agreement where it's a case as well of giving and taking. Okay, then, baby, I understand how you feel. And he will speak to me as well as I will let him know how I feel or what happened, or even it could be a case of I might have said something that even hurt him. Again,
Right.
we take our time where we sit down and we discuss the situation, and then we will talk about it.
Communication,
It is the key.
Communication. It's
It is the
such
key.
vital.
It is the key.
Because I think what's happened to you, you've learned, even though, I mean, with relationships, it takes two.
Yes.
I wouldn't say, with myself, I was in a similar situation to yourself, and I wouldn't say all the blame is the person.
That's
I
right.
think there's negative things even
Yes.
about ourselves
Yes.
that we kind of manifest within that relationship. So I think maybe you became a different person, so you was able to look at the negative things from
Yes.
the old relationship
Yes.
that you're not going to bring into the new
New relationship.
relationship.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean? And of course, not to accept the negative behavior.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's
from,
right.
from that controlling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it
Not gonna
can
have
become a
that
stigma.
controlling person.
Yeah. It can become a stigma to your life.
Yeah.
And it can
Yeah.
impede your life from moving forwards.
Wow.
It can.
So if
You
someone
are
is going
amazing.
through something similar, it's like, what advice would you give to them?
I would say in the case, choose your moment right, and don't be afraid to speak out.
Yeah.
Don't be afraid to let the person know exactly how you feel, if you're feeling invisible, if it's an abusive relationship and so forth. Analyze yourself and see, do you want to remain in this situation? Do you want to carry on like this? If there's children involved, do you want to have that negative influence to your children? Or do I want to give them a positive influence? So you need to consider these.
It's true.
Do you know what I think is really wonderful as well? I don't know if you did this. You know the program Anna, the video that we watched. I could see a load of women there.
Yes.
Did you invest in kind of building yourself? Because I'm sure all those women,
Yes.
that's what they're
Yes.
doing.
Yes.
They're investing in themselves
Yeah.
to
By
become.
going to this,
By going to these
networking
kind of
events.
programs.
It's important to invest in yourself, to value yourself and to build yourself, because that's the only way you're going to be able to move forward and move forward in a positive way.
I love that. Because I do
Yeah,
that.
There is support available.
Yes.
But if you don't speak, if you don't say anything, then how are others to know?
That's
so
true.
It's important to not
That's
be
true.
afraid to ask for help.
No, that's true. And again, if it wasn't for the case of me going to other seminars as well and learning, I wouldn't know about in terms of taking my husband out to go for a walk or something to speak. Because sometimes even the home environment is not an ideal place to talk about certain situations. Sometimes it's good to step away from that and allow yourself to be open to be able to speak. So,
Love this. Wow.
Yeah, thank you so much,
Diane. You're amazing.
So encouraging. It was a joy having you with us.
Thank you.
Okay, so now we're going to take a short break, and don't go away, as we'll be back with more on the Invisible Woman. Here's a sneak peek of what's coming up after the break. We met with some very visible women at the launch of the Curve Squad. Welcome back to today's show, The Invisible Woman. Early on the program, we heard about older women feeling underrepresented in the media. How represented do you feel? As women, what do you think?
Well, as the older women here,
And beautiful.
I actually do think that older women are underrepresented very much in the media. I think that everything is about, you see a lot of just young people in their early 20s, and the older people seems as if they've been forgotten.
Yes.
And, you know, you see very, very young and slim, very slim. And I think that's so wrong, because there's so much beautiful older women there.
Yes.
You know,
and women are living longer.
We represent so much about life, because we have the maturity of our younger days, our youthful days, but we've got the maturity of life.
Yes.
Because of our experiences.
Yes.
And also we can show that, you know, not because as you get older, it doesn't mean, because you're young and beautiful, It doesn't mean that when you're getting to my age and older, that you have to let go yourself.
I thought we were the same age.
Yeah, I don't know.
You're beautiful.
I'm assuming that you're thank you.
You see that? Yeah, it was a compliment.
You know, I'm going towards the 50 mark.
Okay.
You know, time's heading towards the 50 mark now. But however, I appreciate my age.
Yes.
You know, I've had a beautiful life in the 40s now, and I exercise in investing into myself. And I think but I think it should be more represented on the media.
Me too.
I think they should have a lot more older women out there, even models. They should have older models out there, you know, and different sizes of women.
Yes.
You know, that's another thing about they just have these very slim women, and they don't really, you know, we know that beauty's in the eye of the beholder.
Yes.
And there are so many beautiful larger size women that are so beautiful.
And there's a platform for them
And
in
there should
every
be a
media.
platform for them.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
I was just gonna say though, being young, and obviously I have social networks, Instagram. I just don't have Snapchat. It's too much for me, but I have the rest. And it's true. Even when I go on it, sometimes it's a bit annoying. I'm gonna be honest, because even for example, when there are, let's say, older women, they only represent the older woman who looks like or tries to look like she's 20 again, or she's wearing that. Why?
Oh, that
Do you
mini
know what I mean?
skirt.
Yes. You're like,
Yes.
I mean, don't get me
Even
wrong.
when you go shopping,
everyone
you see
has their
it.
choice, but
Yeah.
for me, it's like. Even when I speak with friends, before I'm unnecessary to be like, oh my gosh, when I'm 40, how am I gonna look? And you're like, what? Nowadays, like Miss Sam, you're beautiful. Wow.
Thank you.
You would never know, like, do you know what I mean? As long as you
Yes.
look after yourself and invest in
I
yourself,
think that's
like
the
we're
important
speaking
thing,
in this
looking
program.
after yourself. Miss Curvaceous UK is a beauty pageant with a difference. The difference being that their contestants are proud of their curves, challenging the models that are represented in the media. The organizers of Miss Curvaceous have launched the Curve Squad. Our team went to find out more, see what they learned in this video.
The Curve Squad is formed from models who have come through Miss Curvaceous. Miss Curvaceous is a modelling competition and a brand set up to help plus-size models coming into the industry. And the Curve Squad is a group formed from models that all met and became friends through the competition. And we formed this group to put ourselves out there into the industry, representing the average woman, shape, size, diversity, all these sorts of things that we want to bring together this diverse group of models to go off into the industry and represent real women.
Just have them walk past the support, so they disappear, and then appear from the other side. So if we shoot that with the Ronin, and then I'll kind of hold the light in front as they're walking. Action. Action.
I was a very, very shy person. I didn't like to talk to anyone. I wouldn't be sitting here 2 or 3 years ago. I joined Miss Curvaceous, I entered their competition and I got turned down the first year. The second year I came back and I decided this year is going to be the year, and I got to the final 5. And ever since then my confidence has just grown. They do amazing workshops, and meeting a load of other women that are in the same position as you can't help but feel more confident. So it's been a very big improvement for me personally.
It's important to have diversity because that's the world around us. The world isn't one look. It's not one shape, one size. There are women of different heights, different sizes, different body shapes. And I think it's important for girls of a young age to be able to associate with someone that they see in the TV and on magazines, and that they can relate to as well.
Not everybody is 5'9", size 8 with long skinny legs. Not everybody's like that. So I'm only 5'5" myself. Why should a model that's 5'8" have to model things for petite ladies, if you understand what I mean? Like, I want to see what it's going to look on me. So on a 5'8" model, I can't see what's going to look on me.
Wow, what a fabulous video. Really going into details about, how they feel as plus size models. Curvaceous women have a value, have a role in society. And I know that pageants on the whole, the girls are usually slimmer.
Yeah,
so it's refreshing. It's nice to see,
very refreshing.
Curvaceous ladies making a difference.
And they are beautiful.
They're very beautiful, inside and out.
Absolutely.
So ladies, what do you think we can do to feel and be more visible?
Well, I think indeed we should invest in ourselves.
Yeah.
Investment, I think that's a key thing that we should do. Always, always invest in yourself.
It's true, it's true. I have to say, even with me, and I'll share just very quick, don't worry, I won't take too long, I'm sorry. But for example, so I recently got married and a lot of changes happened, obviously letting go of the single life and having, new work, as I can say, and work was is demanding and stuff. And it was kind of sad, but I wasn't realizing that I wasn't taking care of myself as much. Yes. And then what happened? So I understand where Sam's coming from, because when you don't do that, when you don't kind of like prep yourself up, sometimes you can tend to just, and you just become...
Yeah, you go backwards.
Yeah, and even though I'm only married, 4 or 5 months, there was like a week, 2 weeks that I was like, uh-oh, Lily, what's going on here? So I said, no, this is not good. So I said, today, I literally did, that day I said, I'm sorry, I like not cancelled my appointments, but just said, okay, can we do this tomorrow?
Yes.
And I took time for myself.
Yes. I think that's important.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
So sometimes I was even thinking just now, maybe not necessarily always beauty, but taking that time to think, what are the thoughts that are going in your mind?
Yes.
Take time for yourself to see how you really are doing, because I believe there's so many women working now, busy, and you can get so distracted with all this busyness going on. Yes. You don't actually know how you really are. Yes. So...
I believe,
I mean?
mental health and physical health is important.
Yeah, so
because if you're not well mentally,
you can't.
It affects you. Yeah,
Eating
you wouldn't think to take care of yourself, of your what you eat, how you take care of your skin, your hair, your clothing, everything, your hygiene. Everything is affected.
It is true.
So
I agree
balance.
with that. But and I think this goes in all age scales. Because it could be just that young girl who's at school and she feels as if she's the odd one out. And everybody else is popular and she's withdrawn because she doesn't think of herself looking beautiful, or in that. It could be any age group. Exactly. But I think what we have to do is look in that mirror. And start to love yourself.
Yes.
Believe in yourself. Because if you don't love yourself, don't expect everybody to love you or boost you up and give you the confidence.
So true.
You've got it. If you're waiting for that compliment, You're waiting for that compliment, or you're
and then you'll get it. From
or you're waiting for you're waiting for that group to bring you in.
Yes.
You know, they're Miss Popular and you're left there on the shelf, and you're waiting for them to bring you in. It may never happen.
And what happens if they don't pay you a compliment?
Well, this
then
is
you're going to feel down.
Well, this is it, and this is why I said that. You know, you have to look in that one. You have to believe in yourself.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And
Yes.
if you believe in yourself, you're going to love yourself, you're going to invest in yourself, you're going to do things that is going to help condition you.
Yes.
I was just going to say something very quickly. One thing I also did learn, and I still learn till this day, sometimes you might not be accepted by everyone.
It's
but
true.
why does that have to make you feel as if, oh, then I'm no good? Or no.
If you love yourself.
Exactly. And that's why I wanted to go to, because especially when you're, I'm going to be honest, especially when you're a teenager, you want to be accepted by everyone. It's a thing. You want everyone to be your friend. But the reality is sometimes you don't need those friends.
You don't need to care what people think all the time.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? You know, think of yourself. What do you think about yourself?
Exactly.
Start loving yourself. Start doing
true.
things that is going to help you. You know, if you're, like you said earlier, I'm shy. If you're afraid to speak, or you're afraid to speak in a crowd, you know, go in the mirror and start practicing.
Yeah,
why not?
That's how I started.
Do things. You know, go on courses, invest, find what you can find. Just like those ladies on the video. Go and find a way to build your confidence.
Exactly.
It's so true. It really affects all areas of our lives, you know, because if we have low self-esteem about ourselves, you know, it's trickled down. So, ladies, it was lovely having this chat with you all.
And can I just say, welcome.
Welcome again.
It's wonderful to have you. And one thing I want to hear from you, why are you a different kind of woman?
Yes.
I think I'm a different kind of woman because of my personality. Yeah.
Awesome.
My courage, as well as my ambition to succeed in life.
Wonderful.
I'm a team player. My background is pageantry, pageants, mental health nursing. So I am here to contribute and learn from you ladies as well.
Wow, it's really wonderful to have you on the show.
Yes, yes. Well, you've heard our thoughts. So tell us your thoughts on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, or by emailing. Our email address is comments@dkw.me. Join us next week for another inspiring episode of DKW. Until then, it's goodbye from me and goodbye from us.
This program is brought to you by UCKG.